All right, guys. This is another episode of here. Episode 5 trillion. He regrets drinking. Why do you regret drinking? Because he hasn't drank. Maybe you tell him.
Yeah, so I haven't drank in a while, you know. So since New Year's, decided to drink for my birthday. Snowboarding sucked because didn't drink too much, but it affected me because I hadn't drank in a while. But yeah, dude. I mean, it wasn't worth it, to be honest. You know,
it's not worth it.
Nah, I'd rather just save the drinking for some casual, good conversations. You know, nothing so active. You know.
Oh yeah. No, you're right about that.
No,
Because your overconfidence comes in, and then
get hurt. You know?
Yeah, and then that leads to decreased confidence.
Exactly, bro. yeah. I got all bummed out after I fell off. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh,
damn.
And then I wasn't ballsy anymore. My courage kind of went away, and then I was just like, man, fuck, you know.
His liquid courage went away.
Yeah.
So the reason why he didn't like it was
because I mean, just during no active activities and fuck drinking, you know.
Oh yeah, you're right. I think you're right. But I think we were kicking it, all hanging out,
socially. Yeah, I mean that's cool, you know.
Yeah.
Because we can talk and we can use our minds and use our brain, not our physical body, to do things that we can't when you're fucking.
Because you was snowboarding.
Yeah, with snowboarding, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to do it before when I was drinking all the time, you know. So it was no biggie.
Comment below if you guys like snowboarding, and also comment if you guys have snowboarded while you're drunk, and then comment below.
It's awesome though.
To whatever. Okay. What else? What's he gonna say? Comment what I should say.
Don't drink and if you're a consistent drinker, then you can drink and board. You know, if you stop drinking for a while, the first thing you shouldn't do is snowboard.
Okay, one of the biggest things, one thing I learned from him too is, talk about, one thing, the one secret to keeping your relationship intact with your girl.
Communication, you know? Communicate.
Johnny right here.
Communicate with, towards everything that you guys have conflict with, don't agree on, whatever annoys you, whatever annoys you guys have that annoys each other, talk about everything.
So what was the one thing to always communicate?
Always communicate, yeah. Okay. And then second, always be the bigger person and put yourself in their shoes all the time. Because you're always just, in your mind, in your shoes, in your perspective, and you forget, I didn't think about it that way. When you put yourself in their shoes and their perspective, and you become the bigger person, then you can actually find solutions instead of always just being around the bush,
Can you give just one example and then we cut it?
Yeah, so for example, we always tend to leave things, or we never talk about everything, right? Any arguments that we have, we just kind of wash them away. We don't talk about them the next day. So just make sure you guys bring them in, be the bigger person, and bring up those conflicts that you had the day before or the argument, because we normally never like to talk about anything.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that was one of the big issues of mine.
Yeah. So make sure you bring it up the next day, be the bigger person, bring it up, understand her or him, and put yourself in their shoes when you talk about it. That way your approach and your tone of voice is an understanding, and they'll be able to listen, because that's the thing you want them to do, listen. Because if you if you don't have the good tone, then it's going to create the same argument that when you bringing it back will create another argument again, if you don't have the proper tone of voice.
So the recap would be to always communicate,
put yourself in their shoes, and be the bigger person all the time. And, yeah.
You guys got it from John.